Hi everyone, my name is Jonathan Corbett and welcome to my channel. As requested today, we are going in depth into time management. I know it's a bit ironic that I'm discussing this topic after being MIA on the channel for a while, but that's not because I've managed my time poorly. In fact, since my last video, I have accomplished more than ever, such as finishing up this studio, remodeling my bathroom, getting a new HVAC system installed, paying off all my debt, collaborating with some NFL players, shooting some high production video projects, and even though this month is looking to be my highest income month of my life with more demand on my time than ever, I am still finding time to shoot this video. So, how do I do it? The answer is time management. This topic is very important to me because I believe for anyone living today, this is the number one thing that keeps us from success in whatever we're doing, especially for people my age. All around me, I see incredible people and professionals who have worthy goals, unbelievable creativity, and incredible talents. But at the end of the day, they're not making ground in their lives or in their business. This is because they aren't managing their time at all, or at the very least, they're managing it poorly. 3 years ago, I recognized my own weakness in this area, and I set out intentionally to change that forever. After a lot of thinking, I realized the best way to hold myself accountable for how I spend my time would be to quantify that time and track it like you would a diet or a budget. I accomplished this by using an app on my phone called ATracker. Let's take a quick look inside. Taking a look inside my app here, you can see I have lots of activities I have made over the years. The way this app works is by simply opening the app and tapping the activity you are starting, and that's it. It will track your activity in real time until you tap your next activity, and will also generate reports according to individual activities, or by category that you can specify when you set up your app. To make a new activity, all you have to do is tap on the file cabinet on the top left corner. Tap the plus button on the top right corner and create your task. I like to keep mine simple. I'll give it a name. We will call this one YouTube scripting. I'll give it an icon. I think a pen would be a good one for this. I'll give a color I associate with a certain level of productivity. And lastly, I'll tag it as one of my 4 categories that I'll explain in a second. And that's it. Now that you've seen how it works, let me talk to you about how you should use it, because you can track your time, you can track your diet, you can track your budget, but if you cheat or lie to yourself about it, then it won't do you any good. You'll still be unhealthy, out of money, and out of time. In the app, you can set any type of task and categorize it in a section. Every time I create a task, I categorize it as one of 4 categories. The first is productive, the second is unproductive, the third is neutral, and the last is time well spent. I would highly recommend you at least start out with my strategy and adapt it if necessary. Here's how I define each section or category so you can understand how I think about my time. Productive time is time that I spend actively accomplishing goals that I have set for moving my life or other lives forward. This would include photography, exercise, volunteering, accounting, and so on. Unproductive time is time spent not doing those things that only make me feel good in the short term, like video games, internet, and social media. Neutral time is time spent doing things that must be done but aren't necessarily moving anything forward. This includes things like sleeping, eating, or driving. Finally, the last section I added in order to keep a balanced life is time well spent. This is time I spend on things that might not be moving my life forward per se, but if I can look back on it 10 to 20 years from now and be glad with how I spent that time, then it's time well spent. For me, this includes just 2 things: time spent with my family and time spent with my friends. Now that you have your 4 categories, you need to set some realistic goals for your daily life and start tracking. Initially, I wanted to see how productive I could be as a human being. What is realistic without going overboard or upsetting your family? Is a 40 or 60-hour work week really all that bad? Exactly how much can I accomplish before I am feeling unhappy or overwhelmed? This answer is different for everyone. At this point, you need to start using the app every day with absolute precision to start quantifying your time and coming to some realizations. I encourage you to make sure that you're keeping yourself accountable and not letting yourself get away with bad behavior. But some of the things I do for me won't work for you. For example, if you're a taxi driver, driving is going to be a productive activity for you, not a neutral one. How you categorize your tasks is where it gets personal, but I encourage you, don't cheat yourself. This is where my other video about honesty comes into play. You've got to execute on holding yourself to your inner standard. We'll talk more about this in another video. Personally, I have found having an average of at least 12 hours of productivity every day is where I'm most happy and fulfilled. The last several months, I've actually been trying to push that even further and get to 15 hours of productivity a day on average. It's really pushing the limits for me, but I do want to know my limits. And right now, it's actually pretty urgent. There is no time like the present for me. But based on the reports here, you can see that despite my efforts, I'm actually having a hard time making it happen. This is where the quantifying your time or quantifying anything else is so helpful, because it shows you opportunity for improvement and encourages you, because as progress does happen, you can actually see it. No more feeling like you're just treading water. Another thing I've done recently is put in a new task. I've realized that some days I've put in a lot of productive time, but looking back at the day, the results don't reflect that. I've discovered that sometimes I will prolong a productive task just because it makes the report look good. This is something I'm not okay with. The new task I've thought of to help fix this problem is called inefficient productivity, and it's going to be in the unproductive category. From now on, anytime I start a task that has a predictable amount of time it should take to complete, I'm going to set myself a timer. If I do not get that task done in the allotted time, any time spent over that time will be recorded as inefficient productivity. This way, I'm holding myself accountable even further. No room for cheating myself consciously or subconsciously. I would encourage you to do the same thing. I hope you found this video helpful and informative. I plan to get a lot more of these videos out, starting with at least one video a week. So if you have something you'd like to ask, please leave me a question in the comments and I'll be sure to answer. Please gently tap the like button if you'd like to see more, and also please subscribe if you haven't already and hit the bell for notifications. My channel is just getting started, so your likes and subscriptions matter here more than anywhere if you want to make a difference. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll be back soon with more.